Roadmap and perspectives. Hello everyone! In the last video we discussed what testing is, who a tester is, as well as the pros and cons of testing. Now let's look at what career prospects there are in testing. Let's call it a roadmap. First of all, it is worth talking about the prospects specifically in the field of manual testing, QA manual. As in many professions, there are two ways to grow in testing that can intersect or even combine. Horizontal development, expertise, vertical growth, management skills. In terms of expertise, everything is as usual here. The longer you work in the industry, the more skills you get, the further you move along this line of development. Most often, three grades are distinguished. First, junior. A person with initial knowledge, no experience, has less competence, less area of responsibility and less independence in the team. The second, middle. A person with some knowledge from 1 to 3 years in the industry. Such an employee has a more extended area of responsibility on the project compared to a junior, a high degree of independence in the performance of work tasks. And the third, senior. A specialist usually has about more than 3 years of work experience, a high degree of responsibility and almost complete independence in performing work tasks. Sometimes intermediate grades are also distinguished. For example, junior plus, middle plus and so on. It's also common to see their trainee position. Middle and senior QA engineers are one of the most demanded specialists in the testing market. But here it is worth emphasizing that the grading criteria for all companies are different. So there are situations when in one company you could already be considered a senior, while in another company you still remain a middle or even a junior. It should also be mentioned that there are different directions of horizontal development depending on the products being tested. Most often it is web, desktop, mobile, sometimes there is a database testing. In addition, there is a division into the front end, the visible part of the application, and the back end, the server part, hidden from the view. In some companies you may be given several products for testing at once. For example, web, mobile, front and back-end products. In some large companies there might be a clear distinction. For example, only the front of mobile phones or only the back-end. Here you can grow both in depth and in breadth, either gain deep expertise in one direction, or not that deep, but in several technologies. It depends on what you choose for yourself. If you feel the desire and ability to lead a team, you can develop skills needed to become a QA team lead. QA team lead is the head of a testing team. Most often senior QA engineers with leadership qualities and good communication skills fit this position. Here you must take a lot of responsibility for the result. In large companies there also can be a position of head of QA. Usually these are the heads of the testing departments, which as a rule consist of several teams, from 3 to 10 for example, or more. Now let's talk about the next common development vector, automated testing, or automation QA, AQA. If you're interested in programming, then you can acquire the necessary knowledge and become an automation QA engineer, AQA. In short, automation QA engineer is a specialist who develops autotests using programming languages. By the way, about the likes, I remind you, if you have watched up to this point, then please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet. Thus you motivate us to try further for you. Like? Subscribed? Thank you, I'll go on. What are autotests? Autotests are the tests that are run by a computer with little or no human intervention. A person only needs to create them first, then run and fix those autotests that failed after the run. Why do we need autotests? They can help when the app gets too big to test it only manually. Instead of going manually through these cases many times, we can ask a computer to do it for us. A huge advantage of using autotests on a project is time saving, since in most cases a computer runs tests much faster than a human. Another plus is that it allows free manual testers from the routine tasks. The disadvantage of autotests is that the computer may not notice a bug that is visible to a human eye, since the computer only checks what it was programmed to. Therefore, you can't guarantee a high quality of a product without manual testing at all. Full stack QA. It is worth noticing that many companies would like to have specialists with both manual and automated testing skills, which is good news for those who want to combine these two areas. Other types of testing. In addition to test automation, there are other areas where some extra skills are also required. Security testing, game testing, software usability testing, stress testing, and etc. In all the types of testing listed above, you can grow both horizontally and vertically. Security testing is often required in banking or finance, where data breaches can cost a company a lot of financial and reputational losses. Such activity is very highly paid and quite difficult. Sometimes it's called white hacking. Someone may like to test games, making a quality product for the joy of users. You can also do usability testing, where the tester checks how convenient and intuitive it is to interact with the software product. Load testing is practiced where the number of users and product requests is measured in the millions in a short period of time. Such experts test the performance of system and their ability to withstand high loads. In the professional community of testers, there is an international certification from the ISTQB organization. It stands for International Software Testing Qualification Board. It has a developed roadmap and each stage has its own certificate. If you look at this roadmap, you will notice that there are more directions than we have spoken about. So we were not joking when we said that there are multiple ways for development and testing. But at the initial stage of studying, I think we have covered it today sufficiently. Switch to other IT professions. Despite the fact that testing is a full-fledged area with many career prospects, sometimes you want to try your hand at something else. From testing, some of the people switch to developers, project and product managers, system analysts, or to other IT professions that interest them. Of course, it's usually quite difficult to switch. So, if you consider testing as a transitional point to another profession, then think twice. Maybe you should go straight into the profession you are interested in. As you can see, the career path of a tester is very diverse. Everyone can find interesting tasks of any complexity for themselves. We will talk about this in more details later in the course. And now let's move on to questions for self-control. They will be duplicated in the pinned comment. What are the true career paths in testing? It is the first question. The second, what are the levels of expertise or grades and how do they differ? And the third, what other areas of testing are there besides manual testing? Write your answers in the comments. By answering the question and writing the answer, you will learn them much better. Well, when an active discussion unfolds in a comment section, it's always great and interesting. At the end, I remind you to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed yet. That will motivate us to try further for you. And bye bye, see you soon.